It's me, Miss Mary, coming in with another video. Just want to sit and have a little chit chat. I thought I would sit down with my youngest son and introduce him. We did do a channel years ago called Mama Son. I think it's still somewhere around on YouTube. And he is on a couple of more of my other videos too, way back about 3 years ago. But he was in town with, I told you that, about 7?
7 years.
Yeah, 7 years ago. Yeah. And he's in town and I thought, hey, can I get some of your time? Can we just do an impromptu video talking about life? Because on this channel, what we're doing life. And we're talking about life. So this is unedited, unscripted. And we're just going to have a little chit chat. And we're just going to invite you guys in to join us. And just come on in and sit down, get your drink. I got mine and Michael's got his. And let's just talk. Let's just talk. All right, guys. So, Michael.
Mama, what's up?
Not much.
Hey, love you.
Love you too,
Love
sweetie.
you.
Thank you for giving me your time.
Yeah.
I appreciate this so much, you know?
What more could I, it's only right.
Yeah.
It's only right.
I appreciate that. You know, and I thought maybe it would be nice to come on here and share with my, I started your channel back up.
Yeah, I seen you all over TikTok.
Yeah.
I seen you on TikTok. I seen you on YouTube. I seen you.
Okay.
I'm following, and I said she going on. I said she more consistent than me. I need to step my game up.
I said I'm in it. I'm in it to win it.
That's right.
And then I thought, it'd be nice if you come on and we just chop it up a little bit and talk about, because right now I've been doing a lot of talking about cleaning. And definitely going way back to how our grandparents and stuff cleaned. And
that's right.
In this economic time, I know money is tight. And,
you're right about that.
People can't, and even if they can't afford it, if you don't have to spend all that money on cleaning products, and there's another way that you can do it. You know what I mean? And save your coins, and then maybe when you're ready, if you want to buy that stuff, you could buy that stuff,
That's right.
So since I'm always talking about cleaning, I thought maybe, what's your take on having a mother? This is impromptu, I'm telling you guys. What's your take on having a mother who is, should I say, concerned or was really like a clean house growing up as a child?
Yeah. Growing up, the house was always very, very clean.
Okay.
I mean, that goes without saying. You guys can look behind us and see it's not too many like scratches on the wall. It's not too many, paint chip. It's nothing crazy going on, right? So growing up, with you leading the pack as far as cleaning, like I learned a lot about how to maintain a clean household and how to clean, and there's been many times as a kid where I might spill something on a rug. You know that, and you taught me the Dawn dish soap method, where you put a little Dawn dish soap on the spot where the rug is, and you rub it out. And usually, if you're quick enough, it'll get the stain out.
To take care of it,
So I think that having a clean household, it had a big impact on me, especially when I went to like other individuals' houses, my friends or whoever. It was definitely a difference. You know what I'm saying? You see, like, okay, they got, it's fingerprints on the wall or scratches on the wall, and I know some of y'all at home might feel like that's just normal wear and tear. Well, my household coming up, that was not the case. We washed the walls and we used magic erasers, and that's stuck with me to today. So even in my own household, I don't like. I scratched up the wall coming here. Okay. I had the suitcase. KD was playing. And I had to move the suitcase out of his way, and the zipper scratched the wall, so there's marks on the wall. And the way my brain is set up, I'm like, I gotta get these scratches off the wall. So, you know, I'm like, I gotta go get a magic eraser and wipe it off, and that's all it takes. But stuff like that, if you don't handle it right away, it'll just sit and fester. And,
so having, when things are not clean, and we're just talking from our perspective, guys. We're not judging anybody. We're
not
just talking
all.
about how he was raised and how I kept a clean house. So, and because my videos, we're right now in the area talking about keeping things clean. So, growing up and having the house clean, how did that make you feel? You didn't even, it didn't really.
It made me feel like I needed to make sure that it stayed clean.
Okay.
It made me feel like, you know, let me try my best not to spill something or try to do anything, but it really just gives you a clear sense. Like it gives you a clear head. And I think, you know what I mean? Even as a kid, like, you know, my room was messy, and then I might go downstairs and it'd be clean. Like I might go back upstairs and be like, let me just pick up these Doritos. Let me move these VHSs. For those of y'all, for my millennials out there, let me move these VHSs, put them back in the box.
Now, I do remember, how old were you when you started wearing contacts? Because I can't remember.
That's a good question. I think that was...
were you 10, 12?
I think that was like right the end of middle school, beginning of high school. So I think I was about 14.
Okay. Because the reason why I bring it up is because I remember...
This is a funny story.
He really wanted contact lenses, guys. And I was like, no. And I told the doctor, I said, no, he's not clean. And I don't want him to have them. And he said, the doctor said to me, well, he'll learn to be clean now because he's going to have to make sure his hands are clean when he's dealing with his eyes.
That's right.
He said he will learn to be clean. And I said, that'll teach him to be clean? Oh, yeah, we'll get some contact lenses. You know what I mean? And I remember you getting contact lenses, and I remember there being a turning point for you because I remember one time you had got an infection in your eye. I'm not saying it was from being unclean. I don't know.
It was.
It can happen.
It was. I'm sure.
But I think, to me, I think I saw that was the turning point that I saw in you. Once you really start cleaning up and cleaning behind yourself and liking things clean. And then another thing is, when we came to visit you in your apartment, not the ones where you moved in with other people. With your, you know.
Oh, and this was some years, a few years back.
A few years back when we went to visit you, and your apartment was just immaculate. And I was just like beaming, guys. I was beaming, you know what I mean? Because it just makes you feel good, like. And even if a person don't keep it that way, just knowing that my mama is coming into town or my dad is coming and we know, and you know when your kids know that you like things a certain way, there's a certain amount of respect, like, oh, my mama's coming, let me pick up a little bit, you know what I mean, or something. 100%. So I do remember that. So there was never
a time where I was more messy?
No, not so much messy, but did you ever feel like I was overbearing with it, or like it was like, you know, why we gotta keep the house, you know? No,
I mean, again, I'd been to friends' houses, and you know, I'd been to a friend's house whose dad smoked cigarettes, and you know, I went over there and everything smelled like cigarette smoke.
Wow.
Right? Okay. When I sat down on this couch, it felt like it was a cloud of smoke that came out. You know, I remember getting in the car after you picked me back up and just coughing because I had that smoke in my lungs. Second, and his dad wasn't smoking like actively while me and my friend were playing, guys. He wasn't, you know, he was in the kitchen or whatever, making a pizza, whatever. But I just knew then, right? There was another instance where I went to a close friend's house, and they had a large family like ours, and you know, it was the door handles were starting to lose paint, and so the house was getting older, and our house was the same age. But again, there was, fingerprints on the wall. Yeah, I had those comparisons to know, like, there's it's clean, and then there's not so clean.
Yeah. Now the other thing I want to ask you is, when things are not clean, how do you feel emotionally?
Yeah, that's a good question. Emotionally, emotionally, I feel, for me, it's not the emotional component. For me, it's more like the mental aspect of it. And so mentally, right, if things are cluttered and things are kind of all over the place, that's how I feel mentally.
Okay.
So it affects me cognitively, so I might be slow to, respond, or I just might feel overwhelmed mentally until I clean that space up, and then I feel better. And the cleanliness also, right? Like, coming from, we're in Michigan, right?
Right.
We're in Michigan, and back in the day, the winters were a lot worse.
Yes, a lot worse.
And so cleanliness was a big thing, like, with the ice and the snow, tracking that in the house, and that snow then melts, and now you got water leakage, and it's a whole thing. So, being clean coming from Michigan is it's almost like a necessity.
Yeah. And since you mentioned that too, another thought is, there are times when we're stuck in the house.
100%.
Being in Michigan.
1,000%.
I mean, there one time when the snow was all the way up to the car doors, and we couldn't go out. So there'll be times when you're literally
stuck.
What do they call it? Just, you're
snowed in.
Snowed in. There you go. We have been snowed in, and so if things is all out of sorts and not together, I mean, that can cause a lot of stress. And I remember, I don't know if you ever remember, but my thing that I used to say when I would come home from work or come and when the house wasn't clean, it was like, and I remember your sister saying this, I would say, I can't breathe. And she was like, what do you mean you can't breathe? You're breathing. You're standing right there, you're breathing. It would just like, and don't misunderstand me, guys. I mean, I wasn't like freaking out or out of control or anything like that. It would just be like, I can't breathe. That we need to clean this up. I'm going to use the word, I was uncomfortable.
Yeah.
I was uncomfortable because I felt like my space was out of order. You know what I mean? Like, when I want to cook, I don't want a bunch of things all on the countertop and the countertops all dirty and all that kind of stuff. So so just thinking about how does it make you feel?
Yeah, I mean, it's a big thing.
Yeah. And now that you're a full grown adult, have your own, and have a child.
Yeah.
So what do you think about what are you instilling with him as far as cleanliness? I mean, I know he's still a toddler.
Yeah, I was gonna say nothing. His toys are everywhere. No, I'm joking, but we we definitely are. He's 2, he'll be 3 soon. But we definitely are just telling him, like, you take your toys out, like, you gotta put your toys up.
Okay.
So a 2-year-old they know they can pick something up and put it somewhere else. Right? They hide stuff all the time. So it's like, I know you can take something from one place to another. So right now we're just showing him, you can put this back. Right. Or if he does something where he, throws something, I'm like, go pick that up. And he's receptive most of the time.
And you being raised in a clean house, do you feel that is something that you want to instill in him, or it's like,
100%.
Because some people feel like, oh, I grew up in a clean house and that never really mattered to me.
No, 100%. Because here's the thing. We already live in we already live in a world that is so, we have so many products and our food and different things that already have toxins in them.
Yeah, oh yeah.
So having a young child, you want your space to be as clean as you can maintain it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? To cut down on those viruses and those
Right,
illnesses, because if your kids go to daycare, you know they're coming home coughing, hacking.
Right.
They're already getting sick, and therefore that means the household might end up getting sick too.
That's so true.
So it's important to, we got pesticides on the food and things. So it's just important to keep the house clean, and that's kind of like my thing. Yeah, I'm raising him, like we keep a clean house, it's important just for mental mind sake peace, but also health wise. I think it's important.
I agree. Yeah. I definitely agree.
Yeah.
I think you're doing a great job.
Well, thank you. Thank you. Let me ask you, what do you feel like was, especially coming up, right, when you were a young girl?
Yeah.
What was the most, I guess, like shocking thing that you learned as far as cleaning, like skills wise? Like, what was the one thing that you saw, your aunts or cousins doing that you were like, oh, okay, that kind of made you double take or what have you?
As far as what, in a positive way?
Yeah, but like just like it was shocking to you, like, oh, I can clean this way, or I can use
I think, and I keep a lot of episodes I do, and I keep going back to Aunt Jean.
Yes.
And I was telling the tribe, we can't decide if we're going to be the village or we're going to be the tribe. Maybe we could be both. Maybe we could be.
Yeah, pick a name.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, pick one.
It would be the village. And to me, it was like how Aunt Jean and the women in my family would make. We always had a clean house, but it was always done with little to no products. You know what I mean? Like I said, the Dawn dish soap, which it wasn't Dawn for her, it was always Palmolive or something, and the bleach and the baking soda. She would do a last call with us, like on the weekends, like Friday night.
Yeah.
And she was like, if you guys would, we would have gotten our baths and have our PJs on. Yeah. And she'll say, all right, that's it. Do you have to go to the bathroom? Because I don't want you getting up. Because what she would do is when we go to bed, she would take the chairs on the dining room table and flip them up on top of the table. Wow. She would be mopping. She would put her music on.
Wow.
She would be mopping the floor, cleaning the house. Wow. And it was just like, and if you did get up and peek in there and see what she was doing, she would be in her own world,
Wow.
And I think your sister said something to me that probably was her therapy.
Wow.
Because she enjoyed it, but it was always late at night. And then the magical part was when we get up in the morning, because back then she had these hardwood floors. And then they used to shine the hardwood floors. It wasn't had all this polyurethane like ours now. And we would get up and the floors would be glistening.
Wow.
The house would be so clean.
Yeah.
And then, of course, she would be asleep because she stayed up all night, But that was just something to wake up to a clean house.
100%.
You know what I'm saying? And then, like I said, as the years went on, and when I would watch her do it, I never saw her being angry doing it, mad, these kids, I gotta clean this house. She would put her music on, her Bobby Blue Bland or her Marvin Gaye or whatever, and she would just be in her own little world. And I think to this day, that's why, when people ask me, what would you prefer, to clean or cook? I can do both.
That's right.
But I think cleaning would be what I enjoy, because your mind can be anywhere.
Yeah.
While you're cleaning. But when you're cooking, you have to stay focused. Did I put the salt? Did I put the sugar? But to me, just how waking up in the morning to a clean house, you know what I mean?
It's a different feeling.
Yeah. And then the few times when I did, get out of bed and looked around the corner and saw her, that she was in her elements, So that's
special.
Yeah.
A theme or a common theme in a lot of households is that, you know, on Saturday mornings, right, the kids would wake up to, like you said, old school music. So, right, some Al Green, right, some Marvin Gaye, and then, you know, they'd hear their mom, come on, come in the door, it's time to clean, right? You know, you were never like that. But I do remember, like, that's like a theme amongst a lot of people my age, right? It's like Saturday mornings was you wake up, wash the walls, clean. And it was always just like, it was like therapeutic for the parent. It was, you know, bad for the kids, but like, you know, it did teach. It teaches.
It teaches you
that even in doing something, you can still find pleasure in doing something you may or may not find interesting. Well, I'm gonna spin the question that you just said. So I'm not. It can be therapeutic for me, cleaning, right? You brought up cleaning and cooking. I think for me though, if I had to pick one, cleaning is cool. But if I had to pick one, I think cooking might be my thing. If I had to pick one, like to do for like a week straight, I think I might do cooking only because, and we've had this conversation several times too, right? Cooking is creative, guys. Now, I'm not a big cook. I don't know how to cook a whole lot. I have maybe 2 or 3 things that I can.
No, but you've taught me some things with salmon. He can make some salmon.
At one point, I was.
And don't ask him to make yours because he's gonna be busy making it for you. I don't share. And I think for you, you've mastered, if I can put in, the grill. And I think that's what's really whetting your appetite with cooking.
It is. It is. Grilling is its own. It's got its own art form. You know, there's so many ways you can grill a steak, or you can grill anything really. You can grill veggies, but you know, the smoke. Do you use wood chips? Right. Do you want a hickory flavor? Do you want a smoky flavor? Right. Do you sear it, or do you just cook it? Right. For those of you that aren't familiar with cooking, searing is when you get those little burnt part, the egg, where you burn the outside of the steak or what have you. So you flip it on both sides and then you actually cook the steak to the, you know, the doneness that you want it. But I was gonna say cooking is actually like really creative, and I don't think too many men specifically, I don't think they know that, like cooking, because you can kind of freestyle it. I mean, you don't want to go. Like, I'm pretty sure the person that came up with chocolate chip pancakes, I'm pretty sure that was an accident. I don't think that they were thinking, I'm gonna make pancakes and put chocolate chips. But if you've ever had chocolate chip pancakes, you know they're good.
I think with you that I've noticed the times I've been over to your house and you're cooking, I think your creative juices does come out, because you're like. And he really experiment with seasonings a lot.
And fruit.
Juice. So you do feel a little bit more comfortable and not afraid to try something else. Like now that you cook your salmon on that.
Oh, the wood plank.
The cedar wood, or what's it?
It's like a wood plank.
It was a wood plank. Oh, it was good, guys. It was the best I've ever had.
Oh, thank you. That's saying a lot.
It was really, really good. The salmon was really good. So
I'll take it.
So
you know, I feel like I find myself as I get older, I'm just tapping more into like trying new things and just you know, things outside and inside. Right, we got a fire pit not too long ago, and you know, we bought some firewood, and so we lit the firewood. I didn't know that, I mean, you can light a firewood with minimal tools. If you're in the woods and you need to make some flint or whatever, not make flint, but you guys can make fire. But I bought, you know, tumbleweed. I bought some sticks to keep the fire going. I bought the log. You got to have a lighter. But ultimately, even that, one holiday, we had some family members come over from my lady's side of the family. And right before they came over, I think it was Thanksgiving, I lit the fire.
Okay.
We had bought this firewood at the farmer's market.
Okay.
And so the fire is going in the backyard. We're all inside about to eat. I lifted the windows up so that the smell from the fire could come through the house. And we walked in, and one of the individuals was like, "What is that smell? What did you guys spray in here? What is that smell?" And you know, we had to let them know, like, "Oh, that's the smell of the fire."
Yeah.
It was the smell of that wood burning. That
like that hickory. Did you have hickory and cedar?
It was. I think it was cedar wood.
Cedar. Oh,
it was good.
Oh, yeah.
Came through, fumigated the whole house in the way that is good, and
kind of like pine. When people used to have the Christmas trees and the smell of the pine. So you had that cedar coming through. Yeah. Yeah.
You know,
I bet that was nice.
It was.
Yeah, that was nice.
I like to engage. You know, you tell me if you've heard this before, right? But I like to engage when I have company over. I like to try to engage all the senses, especially if we're hosting and it's a holiday, right? So when you come in the door, I want you to smell whatever the smell. Yes, whatever the fragrance
for the house is.
Yeah, right.
So, all right. So number one, we're smelling, guys.
Your senses. I want you to see whatever decorations you might have. Maybe some mood lights, what have you. Maybe a candle lit. Yes. Right. I want you to hear some type of music.
Ooh. Okay.
You know. Yeah, so if it's Christmas time, you might put on some Christmas music. You know?
Okay. Yeah.
And then of course the taste is the food.
Yeah. There you
You're
go.
gonna taste the food. I like to try to engage every one of those senses. And fellas, if you're single, there's one tip for you. Yeah. Engage all the senses. Set it up, you know. But have you heard that before? Like engaging all the senses when you're hosting? I heard it
when you told me. But that was 4.
Yeah.
What's the other one?
What's the fifth sense?
Well, the other fifth one for me, I'm not. I know you told me before, but the fifth one would be the environment of feeling welcome. To me, would be
That's
just the ambiance, the word.
The ambiance, yeah.
That you teach in Cajun, the word. That hospitality.
Yes.
Okay, I see, I smell, I taste, I hear. And now I want to just feel that warm embrace of like you in the presence. You're welcome here.
You're welcome here.
You know what I mean? We want you here. We celebrate you being here. Wow. I like that. Yeah. And I like hosting too. I like throwing parties and having really, really nice parties. You know what I mean? Yeah. That's good. I like that. Maybe I'm gonna have to tip down his way, y'all, and when it gets a little chilly and have him put that fire on for me. I want to experience that.
That's
I'm gonna
special.
say that. I want to experience that smell of the cedar coming from outdoors. And then not only that, the visual of the fireplace.
Yes.
Of the fire pit.
Yes.
And you can see the fire through the window. And not only that, but smelling. Oh, I bet that was,
It's different.
Yeah.
It's different. Yeah. I encourage anybody, if you live in a community where you're able to have a live fire in your backyard or wherever, I encourage y'all to go to Lowe's or Home Depot, get you a little iron fire pit, buy you the starter kit, go to the farmer's market, support locally, go buy your firewood there because it's cheaper and it's better quality than the big box stores, and have your little fire at night, you know.
And that all kind of ties into keeping things clean, because if things is not clean, you ain't gonna get
100%.
You're not gonna end up with that end result.
100%.
Then I was thinking about too, when we talking about cleanliness and keeping things clean, it spills over into cooking.
100. Well, you firing on all cylinders.
You know what I'm saying? It would have to spill over into cooking, because you don't want people getting sick. You got to make sure you, like you're saying, back to what you said, washing your vegetables, washing your hands, keeping things clean. Yes. You know, it's powerful. So I really thank you for your time.
Oh, you kicking me out?
No, I'm not kicking you out, sweetie. We're going to move to another segment.
Yeah, well, okay. Well,
so I just wanted to, just thanking you for your time here with this and talking about cleanliness and stuff, and we want to move to
of course
another subject.
Yeah.
Here. So
that's
anyway, do you have anything you want to say?
Fellas,
yeah,
keep things clean. Your household, your cars. I know a lot of us try to keep our cars clean. It's tough when you got young kids, but try to keep your car clean. Keep a trash bag in your car. She's laughing because that's what she told me one day when she got my car and it was just full of Cheerios and applesauce packets. And clean your body.
Oh,
fellas.
Ooh, that's big.
I'm not gonna go into specific details, but we do need to do a better job of cleaning our entire bodies. I'll say that. Y'all can go on YouTube, look up how to clean every component of yourself. That's all I say.
And it's healthy for us. You know what I mean? When you get out the shower, you feel great. You feel good. After you exercise and you come home, to me, there's nothing better than after you take a shower. Once you worked out and you come home and take a shower, oh my God.
Yeah.
Or that feeling of when you wash your sheets and then you get a shower, clean sheets and a clean body.
Night night.
Night night. And on that note, we're gonna say night night.
Night night.
Thanks guys. Thanks for watching. Hold on.
Take your time.
Shoot, I don't want to run out. Okay.
Take your time. Okay. You don't want the blankie? Go ahead. Do what you need to do. You gotta get some grease on or something.
No, I need some socks.
Something.
Some socks will do it.
Socks will do it. These are the bloopers. These are the bloopers for y'all. So y'all can see what goes on pre-production, post-production.